Hi everyone, my name is Jessie Haft and I'm the owner of Ensign Beverage right here in downtown Hastings. So thanks for joining us today. Today we're going to talk a little bit about groundwater and how it's in everything you drink. By a show of hands, raise your hand if you've had something to drink today. Maybe you're watching this in the morning, maybe you're watching this in the afternoon, but if you've drank something today, raise your hand. Great, it looks like everybody has their hand up and that everybody should have their hand up. When you stay hydrated and you drink, it helps so many different parts of your bodies. Everything from your eyes to your skin, your hair, your heart, your brain. All of your organs depend on being hydrated. You know who else drinks groundwater? Your pets. So it helps them as well. Groundwater is in everything that we drink. All right, we're going to do a little activity. You and your teacher are going to brainstorm right there in the classroom about things that you like to drink. So go ahead and raise your hand, and then your teacher is going to write down on that whiteboard things that you like to drink. Hi, welcome back. Let's talk a little bit about maybe some of the things that you mentioned. Let's look on this board. Maybe some of you mentioned tomato juice, the obvious one, water, lemonade, hot chocolate, sodas. Another one that you might have on the board that you might not have thought of before is milk. You say, milk? Groundwater and milk? Well, think about those cows. What are they drinking out when they're out in the pasture? They're drinking groundwater. So that groundwater is an important part of their healthy diet too. What about plants? Plants are producing apples and oranges, maybe pineapple, and from that you're going to get juice. Those plants needed a really healthy groundwater to suck up through their roots to produce the fruit that's coming, that's going to make that juice. Let's talk a little bit about why groundwater is important for us. Well, first of all, we make beverages, things that you drink. So having clean, fresh groundwater to use is a really important part of that process. We buy water from our utilities. It's piped through into our building, and then it's put into big tanks like this, tanks that are over 1,000 gallons. Then that water is used to make all different types of beverages right here in this facility. One of those beverages is called kombucha. Kombucha's #1 ingredient is water, is groundwater. So that water that's in these tanks goes into a smaller tank and then is brewed mixed with tea. The tea can either be green or black tea. Then we put a culture on top of that tea that is called a SCOBY, a symbiotic culture of bacteria and yeast. That culture has a probiotic nature to it, and it's what leaves all the good things in the beverage for you. The next process during this is fermentation. That's when all the magic happens. The bacteria and yeast eat up some of the sugars and eat up some of the antioxidants and leave us with a nice healthy beverage. We add fruit and spices and herbs to flavor the beverage, so then maybe it's a peach or an apricot flavor, something that's your favorite. And then we're left with a drink called kombucha. So we make all different kinds of beverages here, and that's really important for my business. Let me tell you a little bit about how I was in 5th grade and I learned about groundwater. Our teacher took us out to a field, and in that field it was the highest point in the county, and there was a pond there, and she told us that if that groundwater level was high at the time, we would see the pond. If the ground level water was low, we wouldn't see the pond. Who else relies on that pond? The rancher who has to water his cows relies on that pond so that that cow can give us milk. The farmer who's growing crops and who's growing fruit trees relies on that pond because then that fruit gives us juice. My family relied on that pond because the wells around it gave us water out of our faucet. So we all have some kind of common tie in with groundwater. It's in everything we drink. So next time you take a drink of something, think about that process. What's in my drink? What am I drinking? And how has groundwater affected it? Thanks for joining us today. I'm glad we learned about how many different types of beverages that you drink are made with groundwater. It's important to stay hydrated. It's important to keep our groundwater clean so that we can make all these great beverages.